Hey guys, welcome to a course by Deep Learning Wizard. By the end of this course, you're going to be like this awesome monster here where you can be a deep learning wizard. Indeed, this is a course that provides an introduction to deep learning with PyTorch. Now, before we move in to the details of this course, I would like to talk a little bit about myself. I'm a deep learning researcher from the National University of Singapore, and I've worked and still work with deep learning researchers across the world like Ivado, Mela, and more. My teaching style is simple. It's basically three-step. So I'll be talking about the theory part, and we'll be moving on to the programming part, where I'll closely link the theory to the programming part by explaining every single line of code. And I'll follow on with a final recap part, where I'll talk about the overarching principles of everything that we have covered from theory to programming for a particular topic. You may be asking if this particular course is for you, and I'm saying yes, it is for you. You do not have to be a super scientist, you do not have to be anyone who's very mathematically inclined. I'm telling you that I will walk you through the course where it is much easier to digest. So if you are someone who wants to get a head start into deep learning, this is the course. If you are someone who already know existing frameworks like TensorFlow, Keras, Theano, Caffe, or many other frameworks, and you want to learn PyTorch, this course will allow you to pick it up relatively quickly. If you're a web developer, you're a researcher, this course is also suitable for you. Now, the point I bring across is that basically anyone with basic math and Python should be able, and I assure you, not should be able, I'm saying should again, will be able to handle this course very well. And I'd like to clarify what do I mean by basic knowledge of Python and math. So for the math part, there are two parts which I'd like to clarify: basic algebra and basic differentiation. So for basic algebra, we have here y equals to 2x plus 1. And if we multiply y by 2, we get y equals to 2x plus 2 plus 1. And if you multiply it, you get 4x plus 2. For differentiation, we have here 2x plus 1 squared. And if we differentiate this equation, we'll have 2 times 2x plus 1. And this brings us back to 4x plus 2. If there's anything more complicated than this, I assure you, I'll walk you through it so you understand. As for basic Python, we are looking at lists, dictionaries, tuples, classes, functions, and loops. Beyond this, anything more complicated than this, I'll again walk you through and let you know what's happening behind the scene instead of glossing through the concepts. The main aim of this course is for you to get the programming skills to use deep learning for your future projects. And throughout every single course, every single topic, you'll start to understand that I want you to understand every single line of code very well and how it integrates with the theory that we have taught. That is very important because it gives you the flexibility to implement different papers and different projects. So again, I would like to emphasize, is this for you? Do you have to be strong in linear algebra, probability, or statistics? No, you don't have to. Do you have to know deep learning? No. Do you have to know machine learning? No, you don't have to. Obviously, you don't need to have a PhD in computer science. And the final point is that basic knowledge of Python and math is more than sufficient for this particular course. Now, the path to deep learning wizardry for this particular course is 7-step long. So we have here PyTorch fundamentals, and we move on to linear regression, which is very closely related with logistic regression. And you start to understand how feed-forward neural network is somehow an extension of logistic regression. And after that, we'll talk about more complicated structures like convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, and long short-term neural network. Now, beyond this course, I would like to emphasize that this course will have a permanent free regular updates with deep learning tips and recipes, and the code will all be up to date. There will be, of course, separate courses with more detailed mathematics, more complex code, and state-of-the-art structures for topics like feed-forward neural networks, convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, and boosting model performance to make your model much, much better. Now, you may be wondering, what are all these terms? You do not have to worry. I assure you, by the end of this course, you will be able to understand not only what do these mean, but you can confidently implement them on your laptops easily.